Detroit Lions fans, gather around and feel the electric pulse of anticipation because there's a storm brewing in the Motor City that could redefine our journey to glory. Smash that like button if you feel Detroit's roar building, echoing louder with each passing day as we eye the horizon for that crucial piece in our championship puzzle. How can we amplify our already potent defense? What are the motivations driving our team into the next era? As we count down the days to the new season, one question lingers in the minds of Lions Nation. Are we truly prepared to unleash our full potential? With Aiden Hutchinson carving out a reputation as one of the league's elite pass rushers, one thought keeps igniting the imaginations of analysts and fans alike. Might the Lions be gearing up for a game-changing trade that could catapult us into true contender status? Imagine a roster where Hutchinson is flanked by another ferocious pass rusher, a dynamic duo capable of wreaking havoc in opposing backfields. But who could possibly fit that mold? Analysts have speculated the unthinkable. What if the Lions make a bold move for New York Giants Kayvon Thibodeaux? This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a palpable buzz rising among insiders and die-hard fans, raising the stakes higher than ever. Thibodeaux, a player drafted with immense expectations, hasn't quite hit the mark in New York, which begs the question, is he on the trading block after a shaky start to his NFL career? The Giants, having invested heavily in other talents, like the standout Abdul Carter and powerhouse Brian Burns, may be looking to offload Thibodeaux. But can Bob Quinn and Brad Holmes seize this moment? What does that mean for our beloved Lions? Imagine Thibodeaux lining up next to Hutchinson, a nightmare for quarterbacks and a dream. Scenario for a fan base starved for a defense that dominates. Could a fiery partnership between two elite talents unleash a torrent of pressure that turns our defense into a juggernaut? Picture the roar of Ford Field as we witness these two talents synchronizing their skills, creating a ferocious front that leaves opposing offenses with nowhere to hide. This isn't purely about statistics. It's about the heart and soul of our team. As passionate as the Detroit Lions fandom is, we know what it feels like to hope, to dream, and sometimes to be let down. Dew on the grass at dawn and the tension surrounding our off-season mirrors and anticipation we simulate in our minds one play at a time. Now, what happens if the Lions take that plunge? Will they pay the price to bring in a talent that could shift the power dynamic of the entire division? Or do they risk settling for the status quo while chains rattle behind closed doors at Allen Park? In his last season, Thibodeaux showcased what he's capable of, racking up impressive stats that scream potential while raising questions of whether he's been utilized rightly in New York. Could he flourish under the bright lights of Detroit, where the hope of a Super Bowl is whispering in the shadows? The clock is ticking, and every snap brings us closer to a pivotal moment in this franchise's history, one that could pivot us into uncharted territory. So as we stand on the precipice of change, it's time to rally, to voice our passion, and to hope Michigan's iconic blue earns a new layer of ferocity on the field. Key pieces are shifting behind the scenes, and the question isn't just whether we can get Thibodeaux, but rather, do we have the courage to make a move that could either elevate us to greatness or leave us yearning for something more? The suspense is unbearable as fans, analysts, and the Lions community hold its collective breath. Every rumor fuels our imagination, twisting in the fever dreams of a reignited defense. And with each day that passes, the stakes only get higher as we wonder if a monumental trade could reshape everything we know about the upcoming season. Are we ready to witness the dawn of a new era for our beloved Lions? Only time will tell, and the clock is ticking. The heart of Lions fans beats as one, and as we await the next chapter in this thrilling saga, what lies ahead? Will we find ourselves celebrating a seismic shift in fortune, or simply charting the usual course of hope against hope? The answer rests just beyond the horizon. If you can hear the echoes of history vibrating through the Motor City, then join me in turning that energy into action. Hit that like button with the force of the Lions' unyielding spirit, and let's propel ourselves forward into a future that's as fierce as our tenacity. The players are coming back to Allen Park, and with them, a renewed sense of purpose as whispers circle through the locker room. Relationships are fragile in the high-stakes world of professional football, and you have to wonder, how would the arrival of a player like Thibodeaux impact the unity already woven into this team? Would he seamlessly blend into the brotherhood, or disrupt the delicate balance that's been built under Dan Campbell's gritty leadership? What if that raw talent stirs up competition among our defensive roster, igniting a fire in others like Charles Harris and John Kaminsky to elevate their game, pushing everyone to new heights? Can you imagine how it would feel to be a quarterback in the NFC North facing down a dual-threat defense? With Hutchinson's devastating speed and Thibodeaux's explosive power together, they could create a relentless storm that has offensive coordinators across the league scrambling for answers, ducking for cover as the game clock winds down. And just picture the reactions from rival fan bases, the collective dread pooling in the hearts of Packers, Bears, and Vikings supporters as they grapple with the realization that the Lions have finally assembled a defense capable of turning the tide. They'll be circling their calendars, dodging their eyes, and praying that the momentum doesn't come crashing down on them like an errant pass into a linebacker's waiting arms. Remember the historic seasons, the decades of heartbreak, but also the magic of the 1991 season, when expectations collided with destiny at Ford Field. That team became a fortress, and there's a burning desire within Lions fans that we can recreate that era with players willing to bleed blue. Deep cuts from insiders have hinted that the Giants might be exploring options to part ways with Thibodeaux. It's not just talk. It's a calculated move amidst their own roster shakeup, and the implications could be monumental. Experts note that last season, Thibodeaux managed 4.5 sacks and 21 pressure attempts, obviously not jaw-dropping numbers. But imagine that talent harnessed under the spotlight of the Motor City. Could he transform into a terror, like a young DeMarcus Ware, known for turning games on their head? The echoes of past trades, both regrettable and prophetic, fill our memories. Nobody wants to repeat the mistakes of history, but there's also the potential to carve a glorious future. Are we willing to risk it all for greatness? What will the future hold if we tempt fate and make that trade? With every tick-tock of the clock, the intensity builds. Imagine the roar of Ford Field when Hutchinson and Thibodeaux collapse the pocket with synchronized precision, leaving opposing offenses gasping for air amidst pure chaos. The tension among the fans is palpable, the kind of anticipation that makes your heart race as you envision playoff glory sitting just within reach. Will this trade eventually get sanctioned? What if it doesn't? The specter of the past looms within our history, casting shadows behind our beloved team. But right now, everything is up in the air. Rivalries sharpen, and hoping for a slip of fate that solidifies either our jubilance or despair. Detroit has a fiercely loyal fan base, energizing our players during every game. It's that unbreakable spirit that has kept the flames of hope alive. And here we stand at a precipice, a crucial moment that might just be the push we've all been waiting for. So, will we sit back while destiny takes its course? Or will we chase that dream feverishly? Can the Lions truly seize the day and grab that piece that could change the culture of our franchise forever? The promise of a new and exhilarating horizon beckons, filled with victory and yet with uncertainty. I can feel the weight of history resting upon us. Are we ready to stand firm against the tides of fate and charge into the fray? My heart thinks we are ready, and I'll say this: Detroit deserves a renaissance that we've been yearning for, a thunderous awakening long overdue. Tell me, what do you believe will happen? Will we emerge from the shadows of the past side by side with the new face of our burgeoning defense? What are your predictions? Sound off below, because the roar of Detroit is alive, and we must keep it roaring louder than ever.